sometimes, um, ever since I started doing these videos, I find I'm going and seeing way more movies just because I enjoy doing these, you know? I don't really think anybody watches them except for maybe a few people. You know, we all harbor those fantasies that you're going to wind up on Channel Awesome or something like that, but I know that's not true. I know it's not going to happen. I'm holding my hand here so that it doesn't get the glare from the light, so that's why I'm holding it at this very unnatural angle in case anyone's wondering. Anyway, so I go to a lot more movies than I used to, and in general I enjoy that. Um, I find that there are different reasons you select a film when you think to yourself, I want to do a movie almost every week. You know, not everything is great out, so you gotta kind of pick and choose. Sometimes, this isn't the case with things like Captain America or Denial. Films that I really wanted to see. Sometimes you go see a movie because you've heard nothing but bad things about it, and you want to kind of see for yourself if those are justified or if it's just the internet being the internet. This is true of things like Batman v Superman, Ghostbusters, in Independence Day, Resurgence, things like that. Other times, um, you come across these films and you just see a trailer or something and you're thinking, I've never heard of that, so let's go check it out. This is the case with things like Anthropod. I'm calling it the wrong thing. Anthropod, um, The Dressmaker, things like that. Other times you find films that you're just. I'll take The Dressmaker back for a second. You come across a film that you're looking through the scroll on the Paradiso thing, and you just find a film and you've never heard of it. And you're like, well, let's go check that out. I mean, why not? This is the case with things like The Dressmaker and whatnot. And then every now and then, I hope you'll indulge me for a minute, those of you that do watch these. Um, then every now and then, you go to a movie because it's Saturday night. You're 37 years old, single, no prospects of any kind of romantic relationship anywhere on the horizon. You're happy enough with certain aspects of your employment, but there are other aspects that make you feel that you're obsolete and unneeded. And you're basically looking for something to serve as a socially acceptable punching bag for all your pent-up venom. And you think to yourself, well, maybe a film is going to surprise you. Um, this film is is the perfect vehicle for that animosity. I am saying to all this not because I'm trying to have a pity party or because I don't know. I'm saying all this because I have the feeling that once I start driving and once I start talking about this movie, I am going to be unleashing just a holy hell lot of pent up anger at this movie. Um, this is going to feel. I have a feeling, and if it doesn't turn out this way, then maybe I'm hyping it up for nothing. But I have a feeling that this is going to be a very, very pissed off review. Because this movie just made me madder and madder and madder. Um, and I'm saying all this. I'm giving a disclaimer because one, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of profanity in this one, so just be aware of that. Number two, I have a feeling that this movie's going to get a lot of it, and it doesn't deserve all of it. It's a bad movie, make no mistake, but it is not even. It doesn't even warrant. It's not even important enough to warrant the amount of venom I am going to be spewing at it. But sometimes you just need a receptacle for your venom, and this movie was just shitty enough that it wins the trophy tonight. So it's going to get it. Okay? So that's the end of my disclaimer. I am now going to attempt to pull out and discuss with you why this movie is crap. So, for any who don't know, this is a movie about a neurotic suburb couple who get a new set of neighbors. Neighbors who are sexy and apparently, just gifted at everything, and have really interesting lives, which makes the couple's really boring life seem even more dull. And lo and behold, it turns out that these new neighbors are spies, and our loving little suburban couple gets pulled into the quote, this is a quote from the movie, the sexy and exciting world of industrial espionage. It is every bit as awful and as stupid and as cliche-ridden as it sounds. This film, I don't even know where to start with this thing. I don't know where to start talking about this. Because, again, everything about it, you just feel like it doesn't even deserve to be talked about. And again, this should be evident by the fact that it's showing in one of the smallest theaters. I've been coming to this movie theater for years, for the 10 years I've been down here, and I've never been in this little side theater that this movie was playing in, and also didn't look like it had been cleaned all day. So that should give you some feeling as to how the people working there view this film, because obviously it's not important enough to put in one of the big theaters that you clean. This film is a microcosm of everything wrong with comedy today. I haven't gone and paid money to see a comedy in the theaters for a very long time, because I think modern comedy is shit. I think it's awful. I think it is just, everything about it is wrong. And this movie sums up everything I hate about modern day comedies in almost a complete nutshell. If Adam Sandler had been in it, that would have been kind of the full docket there. For instance, did you know that pee pee and poo poo are funny? Hee 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 hee. Oh, he had to go poopy. Oh ho 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 ho. The way these movies talk, the way these comedies talk, you'd think that nobody outside of a third grade classroom ever knew that people use the goddamn bathroom. Can we please get comedy that does absolutely nothing to do with the toilet? For God's sake! When did this happen? It used to be that there was maybe one bathroom joke in a movie, and that was considered the gross out moment of the film. Now it's like the entirety of the script, everything. They handed it off to a bunch of third graders and said, write what you think is funny. He has to go poopy. Fuck you. Again, profanity in this one. Be aware. Also, did you know that married people have uninteresting sex? Oh, and they don't know how to handle it when a goofy suburban guy does not know how to handle it when his wife suddenly dresses sexy? Oh, never seen that before. And maybe it's just the people I know, but for God's sakes, it's not true anymore. We're not as buttoned down, and we're not shocked about sex anymore. 90% of all TV shows have explicit sex scenes. We're living in the YouTube HBO generation. Nobody supposedly people who live in a inclusive neighborhood, who is that freaked out by the concept of sex anymore? What were you, Amish? Oh. Anyway, also we must take into account that these two spies, first of all, Jon Hamm is a charisma vacuum. He has none of it. None. Absolutely none. And he's supposed to be like this suave James Bond guy. He sucks. He's terrible. And I don't know who this woman playing his wife is. I've never heard of her before. She was crap too. Both of them. I will give credit to Zach Galifianakis and the young lady playing his wife, whose name, again, I cannot remember. I'm going to call her poor man's Amy Adams, because that's kind of what she looked like. They did an okay job. They were the closest I got to laughing in this movie was because of them. They had chemistry. They played off each other really well. But the problem, again, with their characters is two people, supposedly people in their 30s to 40s with kids and jobs. I've never seen two people who fit that, check those boxes, who are that goddamn stupid and so shocked by things. How there is a difference, and this is something else modern comedy does not understand. There is a difference between being naive or being a little closed off, a little introverted, and being completely fucking stupid. So stupid that you have to sit and ask yourself, how did this person survive? Anyway, back to John Charismaless and his wife, discount Bond girl number 42, supposedly supposed to be playing spies. These are two of the worst spies ever in a movie, ever. Now, understanding that this is a movie, it's a fantasy world, okay, and certain plot elements, for the plot is so goddamn confusing and all over the place. But anyway, I understand that you need certain things, like they have to act a little suspicious for discount Amy Adams to, suddenly start wanting to follow them around and figure out what's going on and realize they're not all they say they are, to kickstart everything, snowball it in, all that stuff. I get that. But, color me crazy, but if you are a spy, if you are a cop, if you are anybody who is going undercover, first of all, I assume you don't use your real name. Secondly, I assume you come up with some kind of boring backstory for yourself to make yourself, especially if you're going undercover in suburbia. Who goes undercover with their cover story being that they've gone to all these exotic places, they've lived the exotic life, they are just as cool and sexy and everything? Wouldn't you, if you're going undercover in suburbia, and especially this film's version of suburbia where everybody is just that, middle-aged, boring, all that crap, wouldn't you create a boring cover story for yourself? And not this, I'm some exotic this, that, or the other thing, and, his wife, discount Bond girl number 47, going around to block parties dressed in designer sexy outfits. I mean, and the only credit I'll give the film is that at one point in one of their moments of comedy, Jon Hamm does call her out on that one. That was almost funny. But it's like every single frame of this abomination of God in nature is designed without any understanding of how human beings think, operate, and interact. It's like, let's take the most bland, watered down stereotype and just do that. There is no, it is awful. Awful. And they drag poor Patton Oswalt into this. They dragged Patton Oswalt into this. Come on. Come on, man. You're Patton freaking Oswalt. You're better than this. What are you doing here? I don't normally say that because I understand it's show business. You got to go where the money is. And again, the closest I ever got to thinking, oh, this is kind of funny, is, the scenes he's in. But no, why? Why? Oh, that hurt me. Seeing Patton Oswalt dragged Zach Galifianakis, that's no big loss to me. Zach Galifianakis, the best he ever was in a very, very short-lived Eliza Dushku vehicle on Fox called True Calling, about a girl who worked at a morgue and the bodies would come alive and ask her for help and she'd relive the day to go help them. That's the best he ever was. That was one of his first big roles, and he was okay in that. Everything since, his career going down the toilet, that doesn't affect me. Jon Hamm, again, he's one of these actors that everybody says is handsome and says is good, but, he's interchangeable, like Channing Tatum, Ryan Gosling. I don't know who any of these jerks are, because you could just, swap them around like you're playing 3-card Monte with them. So his career going down the toilet, doesn't hurt me. Again, I don't know who either one of these ladies are, but come on, Patton Oswalt, really? Really, dude? Anyway. Oh, this movie sucked. This movie sucked like a Hoover vac. There is nothing, like I said, the only thing mildly redeemable is A, Patton Oswalt's parts, and B, Zach Galifianakis and poor man's Amy Adams did have a certain amount of chemistry. If they'd acted like actual adults, actually acted like human beings that you could identify with, maybe they could have salvaged this garbage fire, or maybe they could have been the centerpiece of a better movie somewhere else. As it is, again, they act like two 40-year-old third graders. And it is painful. Painful to watch. And here's something else. This is a weird thing to harp on, but I'm in a mood, and I'm going to harp on it, damn it. The poster for this thing is the exact same poster as the poster for Mr. Right, only with 2 extra people on it. Like, the yellow background, the black lettering, it's the exact same poster. And that pisses me off. Not because Mr. Right was some masterpiece. I enjoyed it, but I'm not going to sit here and try to say, how dare you rip off Mr. Right. No, because it shows the absolute laziness of this film and everybody involved with it, from the people making it all the way down to the publicity. Movie posters used to be awesome. Movie posters used to be artwork. I mean, they got painters and people to do movie posters. Go look at some of Spielberg's old films and look at the posters for those. They're iconic. What do we got now? What do we got now? We got Photoshop. You got freaking Photoshop. And you just move Sam Rockwell and Anna Kendrick out, and you move these 4 jokers in. I mean, how bloody lazy are you? You want people to come see your movie. You want it to make money. So why not put some effort in any part of it, anywhere? Why? Why, God? My bloody... I do have to say this, after all that. One other thing I will say in kind of favor of movies, one detail I just thought of. So obviously through hilarity ensuing, and I say that in quotes because hilarity never ensued. So through hilarity ensuing, of course the button-down suburban couple have to go in and take part in a dangerous mission. So they get all dolled up in suits, and Discount Amy Adams gets a very pretty, sexy, stylish dress and everything. And an interesting directorial note is that in a lot of other movies with this very similar setup, when the person with the mistaken identity, or the person who's not used to this, or the person who's dragged in by circumstance has to go in for the final mission, they put on the swanky clothes and they just got the swagger. But I like that Discount Amy Adams looked really uncomfortable in the dress. It was a little subtle thing she did, like the sleeve of the dress is ever so off so you can see her bra strap. Like a person who is just not comfortable wearing something this tight. They make the joke about her not being able to walk in the big high heels. It's a throwaway line, but every time she's walking in them, she's just a tiny bit off center. She's trying, but it does. So that is a good bit of acting on her part, and I think those are subtle choices that made it seem vaguely a little bit more like something you can relate to. And that's the problem. That's the problem with comedy. It's the problem with this movie. It's the problem is that these characters, this situation, you have to be able to identify with these characters to make it work, to make it funny. And I know people think, you say that and people go, oh, it's comedy, you're not supposed to relate to them. That is a lie. In comedy, you need to relate to the characters even more. Some of the greatest comedies ever are comedies where we relate to the characters, or the characters find the situation they are in 100% serious. You go to the most extreme parodies like Airplane or The Naked Gun, and there is a part of us, because of the way the actors play them and the way the characters are written, that Stryker or Frank Drebin, we care about those characters. Even at their goofiest, most slapstick, most human cartoonish kind of moments, there is something about them that is grounded in real human emotion in some way that we can then attach ourselves to and go, okay. And somewhere along the line, comedy has forgotten that. Comedy doesn't want you to relate to anybody. We're not supposed to relate to anybody. We're just supposed to laugh at them. Comedy used to be about laughing with. And now it is all about laughing at. And when all you're doing is laughing at people, or attempting to laugh at people, you're not making a connection. You're not giving us anything to ground the comedy in a situation we can understand. And that makes me sad. It really does. The fact that we as a culture don't want to connect with anything anymore. The last comedy I actually connected with a character, and people are going to think I'm really stupid here, and they're going to take away, and anybody who even listens to my opinions in the first place may want to take away that opinion after I say this. It was Seth MacFarlane's character in A Million Ways to Die in the West, which I thought was a funny movie. It had a lot of things I'm yelling at this movie. It had toilet comedy, which I've never really been a fan of. It had a lot of the problems coming, but he grounded his character, in my opinion, with a relatable problem and a relatable personality. And he played it completely straight. It wasn't one of these begging for a laugh. Every one of the lines in that movie is very, like I say, it's kind of Naked Gun, Airplane-esque, where it's taken completely seriously by the character and the situation he's in. when that character talks about being alone, and every time he loves somebody, they break his heart. I don't know if that's Seth MacFarlane projecting or me projecting, but either way, it felt like there's a real character there and a real person. And therefore, at least for me, I know a lot of people hate that movie, but at least for me, that made the movie better. It made the character relatable, and it made the comedy land. This movie does not do that. And what you get when you don't do that is you get comedies that aren't funny, and even if they're one of these films that trick people at the moment of thinking, oh, this is so clever, it's a film that I guarantee you 5 years from now, nobody remembers, nobody cares about, they're on to the next thing. I miss good comedies. I really do. I miss good comedies. You know what a great comedy is that does this? The Lego Movie. The Lego Movie understood this, that you needed human connection and emotions that were true, even when they were being laughed with. The Lego Movie got this. A movie for children got this. But a movie made supposedly for adults doesn't get this. It's not a hard concept. We're so afraid of emotion. Anyway, this has been more of a drive home rant than it has been a drive home review, because there's nothing of substance in this movie to really talk about. So, like I say, this movie may be getting a beating it didn't quite deserve, because it's literally not important enough to get this mad about. This is a lot of other stuff coming out. But the simple fact of it is, at the end of the day, this movie freaking sucks. And there's a lot of cop cars here at the office of my apartment building, which is interesting. Anyway, this movie freaking sucked. So the recommendation here is not hard to guess. No, do not go see it. And judging by the audience and which theater it's in, I'm pretty sure most people were wise to that without me needing to tell you. So, once again, I'm finding myself somewhat useless in my job. But anyway, don't go see it. Don't skip it. And again, maybe what's also getting under my skin is seeing this after seeing something like Denial is like, wow. You really get a sense of what's wrong with a lot of movies today. Anyway, so sometimes you just need a movie like this for a palate cleanser so that you can get a lot of venom out and nobody really gets hurt. Except, whoever made it, but I seriously doubt they're sitting at home watching these, and God, I can't win with these goddamn lights. The next 10 minutes of the video is just me clicking lights on and off, trying to get something going. I should just end this, because this is it's circling the drain. So, movie sucks. Don't see it. Don't give it another thought unless you need something like I do. Just something to take your frustrations out on, and that is socially acceptable. So that's all for me for this one. Until next time, drive safe, and I will see you at the movies.